So if you've been to Tuesday Funk before, you know that we hosts like to subject you to our stuff too, in short doses. So don't worry too much. But I write micro essays, things about my life, and I share them with you. And this is a bit of a sad story. We live in a city made of approximately 65% loud noises, 35% bad smells. So when I heard a crash outside my apartment one morning last month, I didn't think too much of it. However, I am as susceptible to voyeurism as anyone, so when a guy on the street shouted, "Holy shit!" I ran to the window looking for excitement. But what I saw didn't make sense. An entire tree lay on top of a car that looked suspiciously like mine. This is a thank you. This is a street packed with parked cars, and the tree had fallen across 1.5 lawns to land exclusively on this car that bore a striking resemblance to mine, but surely was someone else's, harming 0 other cars. It looked a little something like this. I woke up my boyfriend by hovering over the bed and yelling, "Where did you park the car? I think there's a tree on it." We spent the rest of the morning hovering forlornly as city workers sawed the tree apart and lifted it from our crumpled vehicle. It was actually pretty cool, but sad. Well-meaning friends told us that at least we weren't in the car when it happened, which is technically accurate, but I'm not really in the habit of sitting in parked cars at 7 a.m. And frankly, when your response to bad news is, "At least you're not dead," you might want to rethink your approach. My takeaway from all of this was, of course, to indulge in an existential crisis. How do you trust that everything is going to be okay when chance singles you out like that? How do you walk away and not feel like it's a harbinger of scarier things to come? How is it that randomness can feel so targeted? When bad stuff happens, I usually take it as a sign that everything I love is about to be snatched away from me. One could make an argument that this is a poor coping mechanism developed and nurtured since childhood, and one would be correct about that. But it's so tempting, almost perversely satisfying, to imagine yourself as part of some larger pattern, even if that larger pattern is your ultimate destruction. It's much weirder to consider the impersonal reality of randomness. The universe doesn't care if the tree falls on your car, or someone else's car, or you, or an empty street. So what lesson can you learn from that? How can you protect yourself from it? Is the takeaway to be afraid of trees? Wind? I'm afraid of wind, by the way. Street parking? If you do that, is there anything left not to be afraid of? They say that those who can't deal with uncertainty are the ones most susceptible to prejudice and authoritarianism, to snap decisions and snap judgments. Rigidity, in other words. You can see this in our politics, and you can see it in your own day-to-day interactions. Uncertainty is fucked up. But the flip side of it is possibility. You can't really have one without the other. Or, I hate to say it, but maybe they're exactly the same thing, just seen through different lenses. Insurance companies sell certainty, or they claim to anyway. And in this case, I was glad I bought it. They didn't have a policy for existential crises, but they did send us a check. Thank you.